One of the best things about My Hero Academia is the sheer variety of characters the show decides to give us. Whether it be a unique quirk, personality trait, or implication on the main storyline, it seems like the side characters are developed just enough to make us care about each and every one of them. With that being said, I do think there were a couple interesting heroes that we've been introduced to that we just haven't found out enough about. So today I thought it'd be cool to go over the top 10 underexplored heroes in My Hero Academia. Hello YouTubes, what is up? Welcome back to another video. It is your boy Strem, and before we hop into this one, I just want to say there will be some minor manga spoilers in this video, so if you don't want to get the manga spoiled, please hop off now. Also, do not forget to Detroit smash that subscribe button if you're enjoying the content. It is the best and freest way to support the channel. We're on our way to 300 subs, so that's pretty cool. With that being said, let's get right into it. The number 10 hero on this list is none other than our boy Lunch Rush. Now, if you don't know Lunch Rush, he is the school manager of the cafeteria, I guess, or the chef at the school. The reason why I put him on this list is because it's always a reference, or at least a few times, how delicious his food actually is. And we know really nothing about this guy other than his appearance and the few times the students mention him. We don't even have a name for his quirk. We don't know what his quirk does. We have an analysis of him, so I put his power, speed, technique, and intelligence and cooperativeness on the board here. But other than that, we don't know much. I think it could be a really cool side plot to know a little bit more about Lunch Rush and why his food is so good and how exactly his quirk works into making meals. We know, in rescue situations, he can often make a ton of meals and obviously taste very good. So I think if they develop Lunch Rush a little bit more, it could be a really fan favorite character. I put him number 10, obviously, because it doesn't have a ton of implications on the main plot, I'm sure. And I'm sure a lot of people just find Lunch Rush pretty forgettable, but I personally think Lunch Rush is very interesting. Next up on the list, we do have number 9, Kosei Tsubara with his quirk Solid Air. So this is a Class 1B student. He's shown off a few times, particularly in the cavalry battle at the sports festival, using his air prison. And then the reason he's at number 9 here is we actually see him a second time in battle, and that would be in the upcoming arc of the joint training. Now, where he's versed Class 1A. Now, what we see here again is just another same implication of his Solid Air quirk. He creates an air prison again. This time it's a little stronger. He traps Coda in it, which is pretty cool. But the only thing that's changed about his quirk is that he's made it tougher air prison. Now, what he's supposed to be able to do with his quirk is create solid air. It's pretty self-explanatory, but the only two uses we've seen out of it are essentially the exact same, creating this prison with air and holding somebody in. I think it'd be very interesting if we could see him use this in a more offensive sense. Like, why could he not make an air bullet or some type of air projectile and attack with it? You know what I mean? I feel like there's just a ton of uses. He could use it defensively more like a wall rather than a prison. So yeah, I feel like he is underexplored, and compared to the rest of Class B, spoiler, he is the only Class 1B on this list. I just feel like they could be a little more creative with how they use this quirk. I think it lends itself to be super useful and both offensive and defensive, and we've really only seen it used once in the same way over 2 arcs. So that's why our boy is on this list. Next up on the list, at number 8, we have a Class 1A student, the first one on this list, Rikido Sato with his quirk Sugar Rush. Now, I feel like a lot of Class 1A is explored to the correct depth. Some of them are side characters, some of them are obviously main characters, and I feel like the story does a good job of letting us know what we need to know about each character and not much more, not much fluff. But in Sugar Rush's case, including the 2 movies, we haven't really seen him do much. His ultimate move is pretty bland compared to the rest of Class 1A. We don't really get a lot about his personality other than him just liking sugar, which is really just his quirk. So we know he does some baking and stuff like that. But I feel like I don't have a big explanation for this one, but it would be very interesting if we got to see him use his quirk in a different way. Basically, it just gives him energy. He becomes super strong and super fast. But the reason he's on the list is I feel like there's a creative opportunity for him, for his quirk to evolve. Not knowing what that was, I don't have an idea of what that is. I'm not the writer of the show, but I just feel like the way Sato is right now, he is too far underexplored compared to most of the rest of Class 1A. Now, obviously, he's strong. He does have some moments in some arcs, but ultimately just gets overshadowed by a lot of things. They often lean on him to fail. Like I know he and Kirishima failed the final exams against the teachers in that one arc. So I'd like to see just Sugar Rush evolve into something like crazy. Maybe he grows extra limbs or something like that. Next up, coming in at number 7 on the list, is Kami Utsuchimi and her quirk Glamour. Now, the reason she's on this list is because we've only ever really seen her use her quirk once. That was after the provisional licensing exam, after the students who failed had to get together again to pass. And she also got her thunder stolen from Toga, impersonating her in the actual provisional hero licensing exam. So, her quirk is very interesting. It allows her to emit smoke-like substance from her mouth, which can form visual and auditory illusions over a large area. So the fact that we've only really seen this in action once, and it was a very small scale, no stakes really arc, I feel like she's really underexplored, and we could have a super cool use for her quirk in the future. So yeah, nothing too major here either. I think Kami is interesting. We didn't really get to see any of her actual personality since she was disguised as Toga. And again, we've never really seen her quirk that much in action. Yeah, at a large scale, her quirk could definitely do some damage. Next up, coming in at number 6 on the list, we have Mo Kamiji, or for those who read the manga, it is Burnin. So far, she is a manga exclusive character, works at Endeavor's agency as one of the fire sidekicks. And the reason she is here is because I feel like she was very interesting, had a lot of personality in the short time we've seen her. I feel like there was more opportunity to explore this character than was given to us. Like, for instance, we don't even know her quirk. She has an unnamed fire quirk in which she uses her hair, or parts of her hair, to throw at the opponent. I feel like there's a lot of room to grow with this character, and I feel like, you know, the only real fire quirks we have are Dabi, Endeavor, and Shoto. They're all Todorokis, and they all pretty much have the same application of their fire quirk. So seeing someone use this type of fire quirk in a unique way, with a unique personality, and could definitely have some sort of relationship with Todoroki and Endeavor and you know, that whole agency, could really be cool. And I also think, just in general, side note here, I think learning more about the sidekicks, like the ones we saw at Best Jeanist Agency or any agency really, could be a really unique thing for the fan base, for sure. And next up on the list, we have coming in at number 5, Juzo Mawashi, or with his quirk Centipede, or you may know him as Centipeder. We have his stats down there, 5 out of 6 legs, you know it. This guy, basically, his quirk just mimics a centipede, anything a centipede can do, which I find really interesting, and I have no idea the complete applications of this, and that's why I feel like he is pretty underexplored. The other reason is, this is the man who took over Sir Night-Eye's agency when Sir Night-Eye tragically passed away. So the fact that we've only ever seen his quirk once, even the other sidekick, Bubble Girl, kind of got more attention than Centipeder during the arc when Sir Night-Eye was still alive. I feel like there's a lot of missed opportunity here, and definitely more to explore with Centipeder. I hope he shows up more in the future, and I hope we can learn more about what a centipede-like quirk can do. And coming in at number 4 on the list, everybody's favorite Class 1A student, Koji Koda, with his quirk Anna Voice. Now, in this particular case, it doesn't really have much to do with the story or his character development. Obviously, Koda is very quiet, doesn't talk very much, but that is his personality. So if that's what it takes to develop his character, I understand that. This in particular, and why he's so high on the list, is because of his quirk, Anna Voice. He has the ability to basically communicate and control, in some senses, animals. Now, we've only ever really seen this application with birds and bugs and possibly some other small creatures. But the potential here is absolutely huge. I would love to see Koda, you know, control some bears or tigers or lions or something, or sea animals. I mean, really, like, this thing could go crazy, man. And that's, like, we need to see that. And the fact that we haven't seen that through, you know, 4 seasons of the anime and, you know, X 290-something chapters of the manga, it just feels like we kind of got robbed. I'm a big Kota fan, and I hope someday he can control some massive animal, do some big damage. And coming in at number 3 on the list, we have Vlad King, the homeroom teacher of Class 1B, with his quirk Blood Control. Obviously, you know, we're told through other elements of the story that he is a very high-powered, high-speed individual with exceptional control over his quirk, and obviously, you know, that 5 out of 6 love for his students. However, this one comes down to the same reason basically Kota just did, and it's the application of his quirk that I feel like is underexplored. We've really only seen it once in battle when he splattered his blood all over the wall and controlled Dabi, a clone of Dabi nonetheless. Looked very powerful. I mean, this man has a blood ejecting glove that he wears as a gauntlet, and we've only seen him really splatter his blood all over the wall. If he could shoot this out and manipulate it in the air and do some crazy things like a bloodbender or something, we need to see that. And for that reason, you know, Class 1B's homeroom teacher here is underexplored. I mean, even in the joint training arc that's about to come up in the anime, that focuses more on the students. And although we get a little bit more of Vlad King, we don't get to see his major quirk. And next up on the list, we have number 2, and this is a big one. To be honest, she is pretty much the reason why I made this video, and it's interesting that she's coming in at number 2 over, you know, with one character being, I feel like, is more underexplored than her. But Nejire Hado, one of the big 3 at UA, her quirk is wave motion, super powerful, high speed, high technique, pretty smart, and very eccentric. Now, the problem I have with Nejire and why I feel like she's underexplored has more to do with the story and character development aspect than the actual quirk and power that we've seen out of them like the last few heroes. Nejire, as part of the big 3, is the only one of the 3 that never really got a big moment in the story. Obviously, Mirio Lemillion being the main one of the 3, very story focused, very heavy on Lemillion. I love Lemillion, he's one of my favorite characters, but he definitely had more than one big moment and a ton of development. And then you have Sun Eater, the other member of the big 3, who definitely in the, you know, overhaul arc got a big moment as well, and a few big moments and lots of attention. While Nejire has been around during those moments, and spoilers for the manga, is definitely around in the war arc and does a lot to help out, there's never really a Nejire moment. We never get any sort of development, any sort of emotional attachment, not even that much history on her character. All we get to see are, you know, the twirling lasers, and that's pretty much it. I know she did that fashion show at the school during the festival, and maybe that was supposed to be her moment, but I really do think it fell flat, and I think she deserves a lot more to be up to par with the rest of the big 3. And finally, coming to the end of this list, at number 1, we have this guy. Man, we know literally nothing about this guy. I mean, just look at how cool he looks. It's Yoroi Musha, the samurai hero. The only thing we know is that he is the current number 9 pro hero. We see kind of glances at him in the anime and glances at him during the manga, but nothing is given to us. We see his costume. He's completely decked out as a samurai. Looks cool as hell. I just can't believe they robbed us of this. This is the most underexplored thing in the whole show. We don't know the name of his quirk. We know a little bit of info that Mina, Toru, and Aoyama actually do a work study with him during the Endeavor Agency arc in the manga, but that's pretty much it. I don't even need to explain this. Just look at this guy. What could his quirk be? That's going to be the question for this video. Down in the comments, you got to let me know what this guy's quirk would be in your mind. It could be so cool. It could be someone with swords. It could be someone with his armor. I have no idea. It could even be his beard. But he's number 9. So you know every other pro on the Billboard chart is bringing something to the table. This guy's got to be cool, and I do hope they have a plan to explore this character more, probably more than anyone else in the entire series. But that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed, please don't forget to leave a like, and Detroit, smash that subscribe button. We are on our way to 300 subscribers, and it is the best way you can help out the channel, and, you know, it's free. So that's cool, too. That's going to be it for me on this one. I love you guys very much. Peace.